The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
Every morning just to keep a job, I gotta fight my way through the hustle and mob. Sounds of the city pounding in my brain while another day goes down the drain. But it's a 5 o'clock world when the whistle blows. No one owns a piece of my time, and there's a 5 o'clock for me inside my clothes, thinking that the world looks fine. Time for the pay I get, living on money that I ain't made.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to give us a call, our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. That's toll-free at 1-877-528-8255. Our email address is xzone@talkstarradio.com, and on MSN Messenger, talkstarradio@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradio.com and xzonetv.com. My guest this hour is Karen Bentley, and we're going to be talking about sugar. Well, not exactly. We're going to be talking about a sugar-free miracle diet. And there are 195 million adult Americans, many desperate, and they all made a New Year's resolution. Remember New Year's, January the 1st, when everybody says, I'm going to go on a diet? Well, most did the predictable thing and got on a low-fat or low-carb diet. Yet, according to the recent statistics, about 95% of all people fail on these programs. They either give up before weight is lost, or they quickly regain pounds and inches, the moment the program's over, plus some. The problem is that low-fat diets don't work and have failed the test of time. You may be asking yourself, why? Well, they make you hungry, lead to overeating, and make it easy to eat too many starches and sugars. Now consider this, X-Zone Nation. Over the last 30 years, ever since the low-fat craze caught on, the U.S. obesity rate has skyrocketed from about 12 to 15% to over 33%. The U.S. CDC's calls it an epidemic, and they project that the obesity trend will worsen to 40% in the next 10 years. All right, you're probably saying, oh, no. Well, you know what? I've got some good news for you. There's a new book, the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Handbook, helps to beat these horrendous weight loss odds by smashing the low-fat weight loss myth and making it okay to eat fats. Over the next hour, you're going to learn why sugar is the foe in your diet and naturally occurring dietary fat is your friend. Now, you heard me right. Sugar is the foe, dietary fat is your friend. Fat is essential. Sugar isn't. Fat is missed by the body. Sugar isn't. Not even a little. As Bill Clinton might say, it's sugar, stupid. Joining me now is Karen Bentley, and she is an award-winning physical educator and one of a handful of sugar-free eating experts in the world today. She's the founder and CEO of the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Company and the author of the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Handbook, and the editor and contributor to the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Cookbook Collection, the author of 3 other weight loss books, as well as numerous workbooks and published articles. She is also America's Spiritual Reviewer and provides uplifting reviews of books and movies from a unique love-based perspective. And Karen, how are you this evening?
Hey, Rob, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good for a guy who hates sugar. I don't eat sugar. I don't.
You don't?
Nope.
Not even. Do you eat any caloric sweeteners?
None.
Really?
Really?
Well, since when?
Since I read your book.
All right. Good for you.
Since I read your book, and I've been doing some research, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm starting. I feel better.
Do you feel better?
I feel as if I have a lot more energy.
I'm not surprised. A lot of people report that.
I go out and I take a 35 to 40-minute walk every day.
Good for you.
I drink a lot of water.
Uh-huh.
And starting to feel great.
Well, that's great. That's the plan, to get everybody feeling great.
All right, you and I have to take a 2-minute commercial break. Karen Bentley's our very special guest. www.sugarfreemiracle.com. Karen and I will be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as the X Zone continues live and around the world right here on the Talkstar Radio Network from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. X Zone Nation, you won't want to miss what Karen has to say and how we're going to put you into shape. Don't go away. You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network. Visit us online at www.xzone-radio.com.
You know that I would be a liar if I was to say. It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark. Try as I may, I could never explain what I hear when you don't say a thing. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. A touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. Now you say it best when you say nothing at all.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. Karen Bentley is our very special guest. And Karen, why does a sugar-free weight loss strategy work better than a low-fat or low-calorie strategy?
Well, it works better for a bunch of reasons, Rob. One is that it stops you from being hungry all the time. Sugar makes your body produce a lot of a naturally occurring hormone called insulin, and when you have a lot of insulin in your bloodstream, you're extremely hungry, and that makes you eat a lot when you're hungry. And so when you get the sugar out of your bloodstream, that constant feeling of hunger goes away. And a low-fat and low-calorie diet actually exacerbates that whole hunger thing, because you're eating very little, number one, and number two, it's okay to eat sugar, and so you're still, having to deal with these hunger things all the time. That makes it incredibly difficult to stick with a program. But on a sugar-free, or at least on a low-sugar program, that issue just disappears. It's really one of the best parts of the whole program. The other thing is that you can eat fat, and fat fills you up, and it makes your food taste really delicious.
Oh, sure does.
And the other thing is that it's a myth that fat through your lips leads to fat on the hips. Let me just give you a couple studies real quick. There was a study in Geneva, Switzerland. They had two groups, 1,200 calories a day. One group had 45% fat. The other group had 25% fat. They both lost the exact same amount of weight. Fat made absolutely no difference. Another study, they gave one group 35% fat, the other group 20%. They watched them for 18 months. The 20% group couldn't stay on it. They gained 6 pounds. The other group lost 9 pounds. Then there's another study about the Mediterranean diet. They looked at 180 men and women, and after a year, the group that ate the most fat lost the most weight, 9 pounds compared to 3 pounds. The higher fat group also had less inflammatory risk factors that lead to, that suggest you might get diabetes or heart disease. So it's really just this whole door that's opening for people who have not been able to experience success or sustain success. That's really the big problem, that nobody can stick with a low-fat, low-calorie diet. And you can stick with a diet when you feel full and satisfied. And, oh, by the way, it's healthy for you, too.
Karen, how did you discover this fascinating diet?
Well, Rob, I'm the original crazy lady. I am one of those people who can't just eat a piece of pumpkin pie. I have to have the whole pie. I can't eat one tasteful Oreo. I have to have the whole bag. And I had been tremendously successful at losing weight through Weight Watchers and Atkins and Diet Workshop and you name it. I've been on the program, but I could not sustain it. And so I just had these swings my whole life. And finally, out of desperation, I just decided to try this sugar-free approach. And it is the only program I have been able to hold for 10 years. I've been able to hold it. And it's been such a revolution in my own life that I feel like I have to get out and crusade and help other people to figure it out, too.
What's the actual science behind a sugar-free eating strategy?
Well, the actual science has to do with insulin management. So the whole thing, everything that we do on this program is to manage your insulin production. And there's nothing wrong with insulin. It's a necessary hormone and a naturally occurring hormone. But it is the hormone that tells your body to store fat. When there's a lot of insulin in your bloodstream, you are in fat storage mode, because that's what that chemical messenger is intended to do, store fat. And guess what? It stores it in your muscles, and it stores it in your fat cells, and if the fat cells are all filled, it makes more fat cells, and it stores fat in your heart vessels and leads to cardiovascular disease, and it stores fat in your brain and leads to dementia. It just stores fat because that's its job. And so we want to get that under control. That's really the most important thing. And it's the whole theory, Rob. It's the whole theory that this hormone is responsible for your horizontal growth. Everybody believes in the concept that hormones are responsible for vertical growth, right? Mm-hmm. But the concept that hormones are influencing your horizontal growth is a new idea and very exciting idea. And so if you're eating lots of sugar, your body's producing way, way more insulin than it needs to produce, and you're going to turn into a really big person. Here's a great story. I read this in Self magazine, so it must be true.
You crack me up, girl.
It was a study of women who are type 1 diabetics, and that's the kind of diabetic who needs to take insulin. Mm-hmm. And they discovered that these women, when they take their insulin injections, they discovered that it was making them fat. And so to lose weight, they stopped giving themselves insulin. That's how you can really know for sure that insulin is the fat-promoting hormone when type 1 diabetics stop treating themselves with this hormone that they really need so that they can be skinny. It's really quite an amazing tool that we can manage this insulin, and the best way to manage it and the easiest way to manage it is to get caloric sweeteners out of your diet. And when I use the term sugar, I really am speaking generically of sugar and all its relatives, including high fructose corn syrup and modified cornstarch and molasses and honey and, all the things that are in the sugar family there. So it's really quite simple, even if you just make that one change. And then the next change to make would be to start looking at white flour, because white flour is so refined, it has no fiber in it, and that also will increase your insulin production. So those two simple changes, getting caloric sweeteners and white flour out, if you do nothing else but those two things, your body's going to normalize its insulin production, and, it'll make it a whole lot easier to lose weight, believe me.
What about gluten? What's the story behind gluten? Some people say gluten doesn't harm you. Other people say gluten is no good for you.
Yeah, it's a very controversial subject. Some people, let's put it this way. A lot of people who think they're allergic to wheat and milk and other substances might actually have a sugar allergy, because sugar is almost always in all those products. Most of the bread products that we eat are loaded with sugar and high fructose corn syrup, and it's very hard to separate out exactly what's causing the allergy. But sugar does provoke inflammation in your body, and it could, in fact, be a sugar allergy. But there's plenty of ways to get around it. Just don't eat wheat-based products if you're really concerned. But try without the sugar first. That might be the clue.
Do you have to give up sugar forever and ever?
You don't. I mean, if you're a crazy person like me, it might be easier. For me, the easiest decision, Rob, is to give up sugar forever and ever. I had given it up for several years, and I thought, I'm so disciplined, and I'm so good, and I'm so smart. I can have that one little piece of sugar. It's not going to hurt me. And you know what? I just puffed up again, and before I knew it, I was back at 200 pounds, and I had to do the same process all over again. So for crazy people, and by that I mean out-of-control eaters or people who just, binge constantly, I personally believe that the easiest decision is to give it up forever. But for everybody else, the other 75% of the people in the world who are overweight, no, you don't have to give it up forever. You can just manage it. You could give yourself some time off. You could have a day off. You could have a meal off. You could have a vacation off. But you will be healthier and better able to manage your weight if it's not a primary ingredient in your day-to-day diet.
One of our listeners would like to know, Karen, about the sugar that is in fruit. Is that sugar bad for you?
Well, we're mostly concerned with the sugar that's been added by food manufacturers. So that's really the big thing that is going to make you fat. But that said, if you're eating 5 pieces of fruit a day, you're getting a lot of sugar. So in the weight loss mode, I suggest limiting your fruit intake to 1 or 2 pieces a day. Because it is a natural source of sugar, and you are trying to lose weight, and this is the strategy we're following. So, if your practice is to eat 5 pieces of fruit, and you're wondering why you're not losing weight, that could be an issue. So, just have 1 or 2 pieces.
Eat everything. Eat the fruit in moderation. Don't go hog wild with fruit.
Yeah, don't go hog wild in fruit. I mean, and also, too, you want to be careful with, in weight loss mode, and this is not to say that these fruits are bad or you should never have them, but if you're in serious weight loss mode, you want to watch the very starchy, very sugary fruits like bananas and grapes. Those have a very high sugar content, so if you do want to pig out on fruits, try not to do it on those. Do an apple or an orange or a peach or something like that.
All right, Karen, stand by. You and I have to take our commercial break with the news at the bottom of the hour. Exo Nation, our very special guest is Karen Bentley, and her website is www. Are you ready? Got your pens and pencils? sugarfreemiracle.com. That's www.sugarfreemiracle.com. And we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as the X-Zone continues right here live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada on the Talkstar Radio Network. Don't go away.
Choosing someone to help guide you through deep financial waters is an important as well as very personal decision. Let me tell you good news. You have a friend in the loan business who is sincerely anxious to help you when you need it. The toll-free number, in case you ever do need it, is 1-866-464-1800. There'll be an interested, caring, and friendly voice at the other end of the line when you call Prime Pacific Capital. I know it's not every day you need advice on consolidating credit cards or getting a home loan or getting a lower interest rate, but when you do need help, that's no time to take chances. Call 1-866-464-1800 or visit www.talkstarradio.com. Call 1-866-464-1800 and introduce yourself to your friend in the money business. But don't ask for free samples. I already tried that. It doesn't work. Call 1-866-464-1800.
Amethyst works with your guides, angels, and spirit animals to assist you in catalyzing your inner healer, clearing your psychic and spiritual debris, integrating your lost soul parts, illuminating your journey, energizing your spirit, opening your psychic senses, exercising your multidimensional gifts, activating your purpose, empowering your soul, validating your experiences, navigating life's transitions, guiding your process, awakening your spiritual essence, balancing your energies, tapping into the creative flow, realizing your dreams, visioning your destiny, dreaming your world into being who you really are. Amethyst is an X-Zone iPod partner and can be visited online at www.answersfromyourangels.com or from your X-Zone iPod by touching the Angels widget on the main screen. Amethyst. www.
Hey, did you know that if you're more than 30 pounds overweight, you're at serious risk for diabetes, heart disease, stroke, dementia, and cancer? That's an awful lot of risk, my friend, and I'd like you to consider doing something about it. Take the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Challenge and lose those extra pounds and inches that you're constantly obsessing about. Do something to make yourself feel good and do something to get yourself healthy. My name is Karen Bentley, and I'm the creator of the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet, the easiest diet on planet Earth. It's so easy that you can actually live with it for the rest of your life. And the other great thing is that it solves the problem of out-of-control eating. If you're interested in the challenge, send me an email at expert@sugarfreemiracle.com. That's expert@sugarfreemiracle.com.
1-877-528-8255 is toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and this is the X-Zone on the Talkstar Radio Network. My guest this hour is Karen Bentley. And if you'd like to contact Karen, her website is www.sugarfreemiracle.com. That's www.sugarfreemiracle.com. And to send Karen an email, expert@sugarfreemiracle.com.
So,
all right.
Rob,
yes.
Could we follow up on my ad that was just on?
Sure.
I would love to invite your audience to participate in the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Challenge. This is a great way for you to get yourself inspired to act and to try something that might work for you. And if you're interested in getting involved in the Sugar-Free Miracle Weight Loss Challenge, you just need to send me an e-picture of yourself now and tell me your starting weight, and I will send you a free copy of the diet handbook. And then after you lose 10 pounds, you send me another picture and give me a great testimonial. So we both win.
That sounds like one heck of a plan.
It's a great plan. And, what have you got to lose but those pounds and inches that you don't want to have anyways?
Exactly. And what we're going to do is we're going to work with Karen on this great challenge. And we'll be bringing on everyone who wants to partake in that. So you send Karen your email, an email, as well as a picture. And Karen's email address, again, is expert@sugarfreemiracle.com. That's expert@sugarfreemiracle.com. And Karen will let us know who's on board, and we'll bring you on the show in a couple of weeks from now with Karen, and we'll officially start the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Challenge. 1-877-528-8255. It's toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. And I have to ask you this: you include fat in your diet. Why?
I do.
Why? I mean, besides the fact that everything tastes better with fat.
Yeah, well, for the satisfaction, primarily for the satisfaction, you must absolutely be satisfied or you will not be able to last. if you're sacrificing your own satisfaction, that's a form of suffering, and that's why everybody, puts the weight right back on when they're on a low-fat, low-calorie diet. It's just impossible to sustain, Rob. So for sustainability, you must be eating fat. Now, I'm not suggesting that you're eating a whole slab of bacon or a whole jar of mayonnaise, but you've got to put some fat in your food, and you've got to make sure that you're getting full when you eat, or, you're just going to be gnashing around in front of the refrigerator or in front of your food cabinet, and that's not going to solve anything.
Nope, done that, been there, had the weight to prove it.
It's a preemptive measure. It's like taking a little bit of vaccine to prevent the big disease from coming,
Exactly, or starting to take the prescription and then feeling better and not finishing the whole thing off.
Yeah. It's really, people, this is the most resistant idea, Rob. People do not want to eat fat. We're so conditioned now to think that the fat is the bad thing for us. And, about half the people who are on my program, I would say they will use some olive oil, because that is generally accepted as a healthy fat these days.
Yes.
But people are very resistant to adding fat into their diet, even though they may have gone through multiple diets and multiple years of this whole low-fat thing and not losing a pound. I have a friend who every year she measures herself. She does all the body measurements, and she takes her weight, and she's one of these people who is into the low-fat religion. Everything she eats is low-fat, and she never puts a piece of red meat in her mouth, and she was 2 pounds heavier, and she was an inch more. I mean, what has it gotten her? It has not worked, but, people still like the idea. It's very, you think that dietary fat is going to be the thing that does you in, because it just seems to make that logical sense, but dietary fat actually has a function. It has to makes all your hormones work, and it does great things for your brain. But sugar, its only function is energy, and energy, when there's too much of it, is fat. So, sugar has a much more greater likelihood of turning into fat on your body than the fat that you eat. It's really an amazing concept that people just don't want to consider, because the low-fat thing is so ingrained.
It's diets. There are so many diets out there, and I am sure that there are people listening tonight, Karen, who have gone from one diet to the next, one diet to the next, one diet to the next.
Yeah, I've been there. Everybody has. That's the whole thing, and that's why you need to try something radically different than the same old diet that you've tried before. You need to treat yourself to a new approach, one that doesn't leave you hungry, and see if it makes a difference, because you're not going to know until you actually try it. You need to act. And I'd like to give you just a little more inspiration to act.
Okay.
If you have a waist size, women, if your waist size is 35 or larger, men, if your waist size is 37 or larger, or any gender, if your waist size is 40 or larger, 40, you're really in a danger zone, you have double the risk of dying of heart disease or stroke, and 63% more likelihood to get cancer of any kind. It used to be thought that weight was just linked to the hormonally responsive cancers like colon and breast cancer, but now they have discovered that it's linked to many other kinds of cancers. And it's not really understood why. They think it's because when you have a lot of fat cells in your body, those fat cells are more hormonally active, and that might throw your internal chemistry off. And what makes those fat cells? Insulin. So we're back to the sugar again. It's really all linked. It's such a sweet concept, because all these things tie together, and there's, you can really solve so many problems by just getting your insulin under control. You can get yourself, it's the healthiest thing you can do for yourself. Really the healthiest. I had a woman call me just the other day, and she was wanting to add krill oil, and she wanted to do an Ayurvedic approach with it, and she had a couple other ideas too. And I said, Beth, I'm not judging those things as wrong or bad, and you're welcome to do them, but you have to focus on the priority. And the priority is get your insulin under control. That's going to be the ticket that makes you healthy and that enables you to lose weight. And, don't diffuse your energy with all these other things. You can add them on later. It's really very exciting.
It is. And I have to ask you, what are the 3 easiest changes that someone can make right now? I mean, this very moment.
Okay, that is so easy. The first thing is, I would suggest you don't drink any kind of soda whatsoever. So if you're drinking the caloric sodas, that's really a big source of sugar. And 1 can a day can make you 10 pounds fatter in a year. So you don't want to drink the caloric sugars. And the diet sodas tend to use aspartame as the sweetener,
yes.
And that is the one artificial sweetener that you for sure do not want to drink, especially drink a lot of it. So don't drink any of those diet drinks or calorically sweetened drinks. That's an easy thing to do. Drink the flavored seltzer water that doesn't have any calories in it if you have to have a carbonated beverage. That's a much smarter choice, and you get the same bubbly satisfaction from it. The second thing is to start reading labels of foods that come in packages, and especially foods that are labeled healthy or low fat. When you start reading the ingredients label, you will notice that many of your favorite products are made with sugar and high fructose corn syrup and modified cornstarch. And so you want to become a sugar detective and start picking alternative products. They exist. You just have to look for them. They're out there. But the bulk of products are sweetened with caloric sweeteners. So that's the second thing. And the third thing that I would recommend is that you never skip a meal and give yourself at least 2 snacks a day so that you are preempting a whole hunger scenario, because you will always overeat if you allow yourself to get hungry. So you actually have to, as a strategy, you have to eat yourself thin. I know it's a wonderful concept. You have to eat, because if you deny yourself food, you scare yourself, and fear is never helpful or useful. And you make yourself hungry, and that's never helpful or useful. So you have to feed yourself. So it's just the best thing that's going to happen to you.
Would this diet also help people with diabetes?
Rob, I'm not a doctor or a healthcare practitioner, so I can't give medical advice, but I will say that I have observed people with diabetes who follow the program, their sugar count goes way into a normal range. That's what I have observed, but I am not a doctor. Basically, if you're not taking sugar into your body, why would you have an overabundance of sugar in your blood? In my mind, there's a real link there.
What kind of successes can someone expect, Karen, if they follow your diet to the proper regimentation?
Well, the first thing and the most important thing is that you're going to feel really good about yourself, because you're not going to be gnashing around for food all the time, and you're not going to be having this fear that food has some crazy power over you. So you're going to get that good feeling right away, and that's really, really, really important. The second thing is you're probably going to have a restoration of energy and vitality, and that's because you're not overburdening your body with all this excess energy that it has to, find some place to put it, and instead your metabolism just works much more without that excess burden on it. So it's like taking, it just frees your body to do what it's supposed to do without all the burden of constantly having sugar in your bloodstream. And I'm sorry, Rob, I lost my own train of thought there. Where are we?
I was asking you, what kind of success can someone expect if they follow your program?
Okay, so you're going to feel that burst of energy, and you're going to feel good about yourself, oh yeah, by the way, you should start losing weight. 1 pound a week is certainly an average range. 2 pounds a week is certainly average. People have also reported more than that. Some people are a little slower. I mean, everybody's different, but you will lose weight. It's the inevitable, natural thing that happens to you when you don't have a lot of insulin in your bloodstream. So at least those 3 things.
I guess that family members of people who get on this diet, they must have some mixed feelings about this, because if the family member really likes to eat sugar and, mom or dad are on the sugar-free miracle diet, how does this affect the family? And is it a total life change or is it a partial life change?
Well, I've had direct experience with this because my husband is quite an accomplished chef. And he did not want to have anything to do with a sugar-free diet, let me tell you. And so, we sort of lived together and ate together, but ate a little bit differently. And he observed me for years, Rob. And just, and I never pushed and never really was obnoxious about it. And all of a sudden, after all these years, he's decided that this is the way. And now he's just, now we're both on the program together. And it is amazing the power of example. I have friends that, they see how you eat, they see how you live, they see that it's not hard. And just that example is an incredible motivational shining light for a lot of people because they see how you live and how you integrate it into your life and how you do it. And so you're really doing them quite a favor. And you do it all wordlessly without shining your light in people's eyes. It's just a great way to be in the world and to show a way of taking care of yourself without being obnoxious about it.
Karen, you call your diet a miracle program.
I do call it a miracle, Rob, and I'm not being, I'm not really trying to do that in a sensational way because I really do think it's a miracle. It's a miracle that you can restore your health with this one sugar-free strategy. It's a miracle that weight loss is so inevitable when you get caloric sweeteners and white flour out of your bloodstream. And it's a miracle that you can have control over your life again. So I really do think it's a miracle on so many levels. And I wish everybody would at least try it instead of thinking about trying it.
And all they have to do is go to www.sugarfreemiracle.com to find out more information. That's www.sugarfreemiracle.com. And if you'd like to take part in the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Challenge, send Karen an email, expert@sugarfreemiracle.com. That's expert@sugarfreemiracle.com. Karen and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X Zone continues right here on Talkstar. If you've ever wondered about past lives or even life between lives, and you think the whole idea is a little strange, you're not alone. Dr. Georgina Cannon, author of the books Return, Past Life Regression, and You, and her latest book, Discovering the Interlife, writes her books to remove the woo-woo from these regression protocols and to show the therapeutic benefit and opportunities that happen with these journeys. Discovering the Interlife is the one book you'll need as you continue on your life journey. As Shirley MacLaine said about the book,
this is a very, very powerful work.
So be kind to yourself and find out more about Discovering the Interlife at www.lifebetweenlivescanada.com. That's www.lifebetweenlivescanada.com. You'll be glad you did. To contact Dr. Georgina Cannon at the Ontario Hypnosis Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, visit www.ontariohypnosiscentre.com.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa.
The cat is finally out of the bag. Secrets of Cat Attitude revealed. This is the No Copycat book that gives you the X Factor in personable insight and experience to understanding cat behavior and solving problems from the cat's point of view. Learn the Secrets of Cat Attitude revealed by Carolyn Bartz. That will take the relationship with your cat up a notch and to the next level. Discover why cat owners live longer, healthier lives. Medical facts revealed and why your cat can't help it. Digital photos to guide you in cat care. Safety tips, historical and myth gems, and a fun, enlightening quiz. The perfect gift for smart cat owners and cat lovers. If you love your cat, take the journey now. Don't wait.
To order your copy of Secrets of Cat Attitude Revealed, visit www.secretsofcatattituderevealed.com. Secrets of Cat Attitude Revealed, the perfect.
I got some troubles, but they won't last. I'm gonna lay right down here in the grass. And pretty soon all my troubles will pass. 'Cause I'm in Sugar Town. I never had a dog that liked me some. Never had a friend or wanted one. So I just lay back and laugh at the sun. 'Cause I'm in Sugar Town.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. Karen Bentley's our special guest, www.sugarfreemiracle.com. Now, if you'd like to take the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Challenge, send Karen an email, expert@sugarfreemiracle.com. That's expert@sugarfreemiracle.com. She'll send you the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Handbook free of charge. And all you have to do is, to get your book, is to send her a before picture, and when you lose 10 pounds, another picture. It's that simple. Plus, give her a little endorsement. You know, just tell the truth. That's all an endorsement is somebody telling the truth about a product or a service that they've tried. Once again, if you'd like to send Karen an email, expert@sugarfreemiracle.com. That is the email address you use to take part in this challenge. As always, Karen, great having you on the show. I was wondering if you could share with us some of the success stories that you've had or you've heard.
Oh my God! Let's see. I just spoke this week to a woman named Kim, and she has just taken off 52 pounds, and she's got 25 more to go.
Wow!
And she's going to go on TV with me, and she's been at it since January, so it's been 7 months, and she sees herself doing it forever because it's not been a strain, and she, the thing that she loves about it is that she's able to get herself right back on track, like she, had a birthday celebration and, some time out periods, and then just jumped right back on, get back on that balance beam instead of staying down and wallowing in your mistakes. And so she's just been a great living example of how wonderfully well the program works in real life and how you can achieve your weight loss goals. So you got to look for Kim and me. We're going to have a national TV campaign starting in January.
So we will be looking for you. That's for sure. How about another success story before we go?
Okay, I'm working with a guy named Tony, and he's in his mid-50s, and let's see, he has just reached the 17-pound mark, and he's also doing it on his own without his family support, and just making it work, and also having a little bit of time off on the weekends, and not being as gung-ho about it as I am, but it still works because it's such a powerful technique. So, even if you don't take it to the extreme, never put a drop of sugar in your mouth that I take it to, you will still get a result.
Karen, I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight, and I look forward to talking to you in a couple of weeks as you and I talk about the challenge, the one and only Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Challenge that you and I and the X-Zone Nation are going to take part in. Take care of yourself, sweet lady.
All right, dear. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Karen Bentley, once again, if you'd like to contact Karen and take part in the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Challenge, expert at sugarfreemiracle.com, and her website is www.sugarfreemiracle.com. When we come back from the news at the top of the hour at 6.5 minutes past, I will be joined by Ellie Marzulli as we talk about politics, prophecy, and the paranormal, right here, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Exo Nation, don't go away. We will be back.